Hey Akanksha, how are you?
Hey Ankita, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's actually great to see you, honestly, because you are one of our
Likewise.
practitioner and you've also done master practitioner with us, and you've come on board with this new series that we are launching, which is called Life After NLP, right? Life After NLP.
Absolutely.
And what a great way to start with one of my oldest students. And I thought you should be the first guest on this podcast series that we are doing, Life After NLP. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm privileged.
Oh, I love it. I love talking to my old students. I love talking to people that, are in the community. And I know all the new people who are coming in will also be seeing you guys as leaders in the community. You guys will always be around, which is a great thing. But today,
Absolutely.
the intention of doing this particular series was to create awareness about how is life after NLP. I always hear these big words from all the practitioners that, oh my gosh, Ankita, the training was amazing. It was really good. I felt so good. I'm so relaxed. I'm free from anything that I had that was stopping me. But really, what we were looking for were examples of real people, their lives, and how their lives have changed, right? But we want to
Absolutely.
go to the very beginning. And I want to
Mhm.
ask you this question because there are a lot of people sitting there listening to us, following me, right? You're also there as a coach and you're helping so many other people. So, what triggered you or what got you into saying, you know what, Ankita, I'm going to be doing this NLP practitioner certification with you?
Absolutely. So I remember when I came to you, it was the lowest point of my life. And what triggered me to go and find help was a little incident, a very small incident that happened. There was a little um, fight that my husband had with someone on the road, kind of a little road rage. The other person was drunk, and it immediately sent a shock to my whole self that I am in worse of myself physically, mentally, emotionally. And my husband is the one who is keeping everything sane. And if he's not available, nothing is gonna be right in my house. And that was my trigger like, okay, I need to work on myself. I need to step up. I need to understand what is causing so much of emotional pain, so much of physical pain that nothing is feeling right to me. Even if I had everything, I had a perfect family, I had kids, I had my own house, a good paying job, all the things that we take it as markers of having a good life. I had everything, but still there were so many things that was missing. So that was a point when I reached out to you. I remember I was like, I messaged you, I want to talk to you now. And and that's where it all started. And I think that's a history now.
Oh gosh,
It
yes, I
just
remember
started
that
and
phone
it's
call. I now remember that phone call that you said, and it was your body was in a state of fight or flight. It was anxious, and you were like, I don't know what do I need help with. All I know is I need help. There is something in my body that's not letting me move forward. And I remember this incident that created more fear. See, fear was sitting in your body, and then
absolutely
your reality, you had more fear come in. So we create our own reality, you know. So it
so
was,
true. It was massive. It was a massive shake for me. I think each and every one of us, we do get a lot of points in our life where we are shaken. Either we can take up those factors in our life and make our life better, or we can still continue with the flow and be in that miserable situations of our life. It's a choice. And I think something triggered in me that day that I made a choice that it's not going to continue in the same way. And I have to take steps to change not only my life, because I was at a stage where I was constantly screaming at my son because I was not able to understand or rationalize anything that was happening in my house. So there was a constant, fight between me and my husband because I was not rational on anything. So that was the point. And I took that chance. I made that decision that I had to do something.
And it takes great strength to share what you're sharing, because not all of us would agree that there are certain things that are in our life that we need to stop and acknowledge and say, okay, this needs to be looked at. We are constantly living our lives the way we have to live, and there's something that is going on that is nudging in the background. We
Hmm.
just brush it under the carpet. We don't stop and we continue to do it till something like what happened with you. Like it was a threshold of that pain that you had, right? And you rightly took so the decision to come to the NLP training, and you moved on and further you created that change. You said, Ankita, tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. And I remember inviting you for the training. You took that offer, but how was your experience of the 5 days of NLP and timeline therapy training?
Yeah. Prac was, I can say in one line, if really have to put it together, is you are not taught how to live life in school or in routine. You are given others people believe and other people's way of understanding things. Finding yourself and finding how it actually happens is what I learned in prac. And timeline therapy is, it's actually very difficult to explain timeline therapy in a word or a line, but I would say it is one tool which can break all the barriers that you have to move forward in life, to take something that is absolutely yours so that you can create something new in your life. So it's just a complete package. You learn how to be, and then you learn how to leave everything that is not you anymore, and then you create something which is absolutely you. So that's what the prac and timeline therapy prac did to me. So yeah.
You were well looked after in the training, the 5 days,
Oh, before and beyond as well.
before and beyond as well. So, these 5 days are very special. People think, oh my gosh, what will happen in 5 days, right? How much can I change in 5 days? And I say, spend 10 hours a day with me, and you'd know what timeline therapy and NLP can do. I'm just a guide, of course. I just teach you the tools, the right things. And when you are committed, and when I am committed, we both create magic in these sessions. These 5 days are full of, my gosh, you enter like a one person and then you exit like a completely different person. And that's what these 5 days are about. Is there like anything specific during the interventions that we do that came up for you, which created like a sense of awareness? Okay, you know what? Now I am shocked that this is happening in my life. I'm seeing a pattern, okay, but this is why it's happening. And then you were able to release it easily and effortlessly. So, did you have any like specific things come up for you?
Absolutely, there were many, but there is one thing which like stood out everywhere. It was my innate need to be with the people, but then the massive fear of not to be seen. I think that was kind of my highlight when I did the timeline therapy for the first time, because I enjoyed talking, I enjoyed sharing the knowledge I have, but there was this innate fear to be with people, to be seen. Like, what will I answer? That fear of being able to come and talk to someone, how I would initiate a conversation. I had no clue. I had no
Look
clue.
at you right now. Look at you right now. Right? You
I
couldn't.
think massive changes have come after that. Absolutely. Um, I think, and and funny enough, and you don't realize that these changes happen. Sometimes these changes are very subtle because it is not one thing, right, that brings this massive change. Um, but I realized this particular aspect of what has changed in me by what one day happened and what my husband shared with me. So I live in regional town in Victoria here, and there is a Sunday market that happens. And we went to Sunday market because it's a special market in regional towns. And after we came back from there, my husband told me a very interesting thing. He said, funny enough, you went to each and every stall, you hardly bought anything, but you spend at least 10 minutes talking to absolute strangers. You had no idea who they were. You had topics to talk to them. They were happy to talk to you because you were not even buying from their stalls, but they were so happy talking to you for 10 minutes without asking any questions, and you were laughing and giggling. I'm like, okay, I didn't realize because that had become my nature.
You're normal. Hmm.
That had become the new normal for me, where I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to say even hello, to talking to someone about absolutely something which I had made up in that very second, right? So it was, that was the time when I realized, okay, I am changed.
I was just explaining this in the session today, and we were talking about communication and how your communication is the first thing that changes. And I was telling them how you start to get with NLP trainings a full mental access. Like it's like you've got a full mental access. So you will start to show that confidence and clarity in your approach, in your life, in the way you deal with things, and you will have decisions. I think one of the great things that's happened is you start taking decisions. You become more clear in your thought process as you go ahead in this journey. So, and it's
So
sometimes
true.
it's funny,
So true.
it takes a husband to realize that, but we don't look at ourselves and say, "Oh my gosh, how much have I changed?" So, good on you for you
Absolutely.
acknowledging that.
Absolutely. And your observation power changes so much. So I was not talking abruptly about anything possible, right? Because I was more observing what was happening around, their product was. So I was having a very logical conversation. It was not that I was just talking because I had to talk. So I was talking where everything was making sense. Sense not only for me, for the person I was
For the
talking to
person as
as well.
well, yeah.
That's where it was a conversation and we were just going, yes. And but that's kind of how what it has major impact and the change that is not only in me, and it's not only that I can see in myself. It is something that others have observed as well. It has affected their personality as well. It's not just a change that I have absorbed. Yes, the changes I have absorbed. But then when my children are looking at me and saying, okay, mama is so confident in talking to someone absolutely stranger, then they find that level of confidence in them that, yeah, I can also do that. Because I have seen me shutting myself down in a corner of the room and saying, hello, I'm there. I am present, but don't look at me. I am present and not present at the same time, to being available and wanting to being available. And that was one of the major changes that I saw in myself. So yeah, that's a very big change for me,
That's a
honestly.
big change. And what you are saying and what I am understanding is that, and correct me if I'm, wrong. I'm listening right now is that the changes that you made to yourself were showing up in other areas of your life, your parenting, your relationship with your partner, the way you were probably this whole idea of being able to speak. I'm sure in your corporate life, it would have come across as a useful tool as well. You would have been able to speak
Absolutely,
about.
100%.
So in your work, it would have shown in your health how much you're looking after yourself, how much you care about yourself. It would have shown there as well. You're communicating your ideas better to yourself, right? So all of that is happening. Would that be right to say that it was showing up in all areas of your life?
Absolutely. That's so true. And it's going external more and it's going internal as well. So it's not about expressing my ideas, but actually I was able to make my ideas in my mind. My mind was not going everywhere. I was able to make decision and make areas in my mind and saying, okay, this is what it is and this is how I'm doing. Yes, I'm gonna be ready for what is the result. Uh, and that made it so easy for me to move through even in my corporate life because I was able to articulate it easier that what was happening. I was not like making what we called a porridge of things and giving it across. I was making it very clearly that this is what it is. and let me know how it needs to be done. So
Wow.
clarity was something that really came to me in my mind so that I can be more comfortable with who I am, able to articulate things better, so that the other person who I'm talking to is able to understand it as well. So
Right.
that was a major change. And definitely my family, my kids, and funny enough, looking at the changes that I have had, my husband decided to do NLP as well.
Yes, he decided
So
to go with us, which is, I'm very proud of that fact that both of you are our practitioners. And it gives me immense joy when a couple does it together. We've got a couple of other couples who are doing it as well. And it's beautiful.
it changes the whole dynamics of the family, right? Because we all come from different beliefs and background, right? And even being married for so many years, there are still so many layers that we don't know about each other. And it is brought up when you are parenting your child, when you're managing your daily things, everything comes up. But able to understand that what is the dynamics we want in our house and being able to talk to each other about it. So communication, and I'll be very honest on that, that was the biggest gap in my family, communication, because either we did not have the patience to listen to what the other person was saying, or we really could not understand where they were coming from, because for in our perception it was entirely a different thing. So when you go through this as a family, because now I can see as a family, because my kids don't have to do it, they are getting it every day in and out. They are learning NLP. Every lesson in their life comes from what we have learned through NLP. So it's a family thing for us now.
It's a family thing. And I was just sharing this, and I'm glad you touched upon that because I said, when we do this work, right? And we are looking at, okay, this is what my situation is right now. This is how it's connected to my past. And I'm going to cut all of that. And now I'm going to create a new future for me. And we're looking at all of this. We're not just looking at working on ourselves, we are working on generations that have gone by and the generations that are yet to come. We are creating the change and we are the change makers. That's who we are. That's how we look at ourselves. And I think after doing the training it was this for me that I felt so proud of what I had let go of. And I think that's what you're voicing out as well, because your kids can now see completely different parents and they can learn so much from them.
Absolutely. I think um, it's our decisions. The way we have all brought up. See, our parents have always done the best job that they can possibly do, right? But the environment is changing so fast. And somehow, when we move out of that bubble of our home and we go into corporate life and we go into colleges, it's a different life altogether. And that is where I think we never had that understanding of how to adjust to this new environment, because we had no clue, is this really us? Because we don't know ourselves. Absolutely. If when before I started doing pract, if somebody had asked me, tell me 10 things about you, I would not have gone even past two.
I know.
Trust me, I wouldn't have even gone past two. And now I know way better of who I am, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and for what reason it doesn't work for me, where I have to say no, and I do not have to justify why I'm saying no. So there are very basic things that changes come into your life where you are trying to move next, and you're saying, okay, I need to communicate it to my family in a way that they are comfortable with it. But then also, I don't have to be so bogged down with it that if I'm not able to communicate it properly, maybe I'll not be able to do it at all. So there are entirely things that have changed, especially as a family. We talk more, we express more. It is easier for us to accept that if something, like if my son doesn't like anything, it's easier for us to accept that, okay, it's his choice. Initially, we're like, we all like it, you should also like it, kind of a scenario, right? So it's that changes that really helps, bring the family together.
I think what you're saying is, and I'm looking at words to describe it. I'm thinking we're looking at a lot of clarity, a lot of confidence,
Mhm.
and we're looking at a lot of courage to accept who we are and then create something new. Isn't it?
Agree.
So all the three C's, like I can see it in the flow as you are, having this beautiful conversation with me. Akansha, would you recommend somebody who's sitting at the corner looking at you and me saying, should I do NLP prac or should I not do it? Would you recommend them to come over and take that chance?
Oh, if I can say 1,000%, I will say 1,000%. Absolutely. See, um, what we know is we are in this life now. And if we are not taking actions now, the time has gone. It'll keep moving. You will keep moving in your life. And once that stage has left and you have not done anything, trust me, this is a rabbit hole. And once you go tumbling down, you will come go tumbling down because not many times you will find stages where you can stop, reevaluate, and make those changes in your life. And if you have missed that opportunity, you have missed that opportunity. So, if you are getting that opportunity to make changes not only in your life, but your family dynamics, how you are presented in this world, how you feel, what you want to really do and connect with yourself better, take this opportunity because the opportunities will not come every day and you need to decide it now.
Absolutely. I think you said it spot on. And I always share this. I said, if you have come in my life, it's because for a reason. There's a massive purpose behind that. I'm not showing up in your life just like that. There's a purpose. And there's a very small bracket. There's this time, which is available to you. And not many people understand that. There's a very small bracket of time of change, which is available to you. And if you do not take that opportunity in that time, like you said, you keep going into that rabbit hole. And it's hard for you to stop because every time you don't take this opportunity, you miss this opportunity to reevaluate and then pivot, right? To reevaluate what's happening right now and then pivot into a direction that you have created. Other people are going to run your life. You don't know what is happening.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, so
well,
true. This
well
is this
said.
is one massive thing that we both tells our son that if you are not making decisions for your life, someone else will. And then you have to follow those decisions. So make a decision for your life so that you can continue making decisions for your life.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very beautiful saying that you've just said. I love this saying. I say it all the time. If you don't take a decision today, somebody else will make that decision for you. Right. So, on that note, thank you so much. I really want to thank you for your time, Akanksha, for coming in and sharing some gold nuggets, your experiences. And thank you for being vulnerable and sharing it with people. And thank you for supporting INH in the background. You're always a part of this community.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be here and talk to you and share my experiences. I would just say and, say to everyone, welcome to the community. It's a very big family and we are growing every day and keep growing and keep shining.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.